Hi everyone, I'm Jen, and I wanted to talk about the weather. I was falling asleep with one of my favorite men, Susso. Yes, I love you. You are a very important part of my softening the rough birth into this Mandela Effect awareness awakening. Of course, it was going on before, I just didn't have a name for it. But Susso, you helped make it more normal because you talked about it in a very casual, matter-of-fact way, and you showed your customers at the bar how they were just not reacting in a way that you and I were reacting. Like, what do you mean reality is fluid? What do you mean that's not how things used to? Anyhow, so I thank you. So yes, I do frequently go to bed with you. Anyhow, you all were talking about different things. So, I wasn't really on live chat, but when you talked about different weather, that you were experiencing different weather, and I did get on live chat and quickly typed out about how I experience different weather than the people around me. I've talked about it before, and it's incredible because it'll be dark, cloudy days, dark clouds for the person that I spent the day with, lovely lady, and for me it was literally blue skies with white clouds, and yet she commented how she was happy to not be under the dark cloud anymore. And then the women and children, the place that I was connected to, the women and children center and shelter, the children and I would experience way different weather than the moms. And that's when I had this theory that the weather forecast is forecasting a spell, so that if enough people listen to and read the weather forecast, they take it within. And then if enough people believe 100th monkey theory, then that reality is created. It's amazing. The weather forecast is getting more and more accurate, right? In less and less time period of wondering. So, it would be raining for the moms, and they would get the kids in trouble for playing out in the rain when the kids and I were totally in sunny days. And then most of the time I could stay where I was weather-wise, but one time it involved a block party, and I had my food ready, so I asked the mother who was heading the block party, since I was ready early, what else can I do to help? And she said, well, it's canceled. I said, why is it canceled? And she says, because it's been raining all day. It was an outdoor block party, and so I look outside, and the ground was saturated. It was not raining all day, except at that point, then it did. I think because it affected me, where the other times it didn't affect me when the moms were yelling at the kids for them playing in the rain. And, I stood up for the kids, but, only one mom was able to jump into our reality. But then she got mad at them for, well, it could have been raining and you could have, anyhow. So, I wrote, I've experienced different weather, and Tammy in the live chat, so I went on live chat because I was, falling asleep, so I wasn't watching live chat. But then I see that she lets me know, well, weather's being manipulated, and I believe everybody thinks that, but in a devious, like highly technical way. Excuse me, mineral water, so I burp with mineral water. But I do not think that it is as much technically manipulated as it is with having enough of us believe with our hearts and minds. If we believe in something, then if our attention is on something, then that ends up being the reality that we experience. So to me, weather forecasting is forecasting a spell. Religions talk about witchery being bad. I believe they do exactly that. You repeat your Bible phrases enough time, or the motions enough time, you're doing it out of habit, and it could mean something else. Or if you're doing it out of habit but not really, like that song California Dreamin, I pretend to pray, I began to pray. If you're just pretending but not really heart, then you're losing your ability to have the prayers come true, to manifest, having wishes come true. I get it. Different parts of the group belief system thinks the other verb is wrong. Prayer, wish, manifest. Y'all are doing the same thing. It's just what you do with those prayers. Those who pray have prayed, oh my gosh, I hope there's an accident so I can have an excuse that I'm late to work. You're actually praying for something horrible. Oh, I wish da 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 da. You can wish for good or bad. You can manifest for good or bad, whatever good or bad is. And the same for prayers. So, I use the term prayer, but I did not grow up with a religion. So I am not sponsoring one belief system. I do believe in the heart and soul's intentional embracing the heart and soul. If you're doing that intentionally, that's putting attention on something to create something. So to me, I purposely know if someone is saying, look at the eclipse, I will look elsewhere because I feel like something else is going on. If someone's saying weather forecast, if it's a rainy day, people stay home and they may vibe at a lower level. Why are we needing to vibe at a lower level? Some groups' belief systems feels like that's exactly the time when we're able to jump through a gate, a stargate, star portal. I don't know how you all word this, but if enough high vibed people are here, we can help the collective get to the next high vibe level. But hey, those who do not want it to be high vibe and want more control of the people, if all this is true, then of course they're going to forecast horrible things happening around the world, or sharing what happened all the way over here. And I know I'm rambling. It's just, Tammy, when you said, Jen, weather's being, I don't know if you used the word manipulated. I absolutely agree. It's just, I do believe that we need to take it a step further, just like, the thinker, the focus is, let's think. The Beatles song, what would you do if I sang attitude? It's now what would you think, and has always been what would you think. So, again, think. And then I began to pray. I pretend to pray. It's about what you're doing with your nonverbal. It's like, are you really into it? So if you're really into it, we can hop around to different weathers. And if there's a collective, wow, like the kids and I, we really experience beautiful days and could go goof off and play in the park and explore the woods like kids are supposed to do. So Susso, when you talked about why are we believing the Bible, and you were being so gentle and careful, Nobleness D, I believe that you are one of the rare Christians who are still tethered to that belief system, and yet you're able, for the most part, to be open-minded, where most people immediately shut down because it doesn't fit with the template that you grew up with, and I can relate to that. I grew up with the template that there was no soul in our body. You live, you die, you decay. We are our bodies. So at age 31, when I saw my first dead person, and then the years, 25 plus years of being prompted by source, whether source is God, our higher self, as the New Agers say, God, as the religious people say, or the alien scientists in the Matrix gaming world, other people say. I don't know what source is. All I know is I get prompted by source, and I'm able to do things and be for other people, including, you mentioned healing hands, including I was prompted to put my hand on this lady who was limping. She worked at Wendy's, and I've already talked about that. I'm sorry for those. This is a repeat for those. It's just, I do not belong to any of your groups, and yet we're bonded through the Mandela Effect. So I think it's brave for Susso to have mentioned that about why are we believing the Bible, and then you're gently maneuvering people's hurt feelings through that. And you're brave for talking about it, because I've been on the end. Noble Nestine, you and I have been on a talk show where, you were amazing that you could stay with me and talking with me. This Christian channel, the host had to fend off a lot of people in comments and whatever. So it's not a friendly place to be. Especially when I'm not even here to argue anything, religious-wise. If people need or grew up with a certain belief system to get to the same place up the mountain that I believe there are more than one ways up the mountain. For some, it's a rickety wooden bridge over cliffs pathway, and I get it why you're trying to save me, because that is sincerely the only way you're able to get up. So of course you care about me and love me and want me to stay on that path so that I don't fall off the cliff. It's just my way happens to be a meandering meadow with non-terrestrials, including fairies, and I've seen a gnome goblin-y thing. I see dead people, and I would like to save you all too, but I get it that there are different ways. I'm rambling, sorry about that. It's just because I believe in the forecasting. If enough people believe the forecasts and the Farmer's Almanac, the news, whatever's on media as ready to happen or having had happened, enough of us believe it, and it will have happened, and it will be happening. Unless you've got that free will working for you, and you can stay strong no matter if the people around you saying it's raining, and I'm like, no, it's not, So, you're at the risk of looking crazy, but those kids were thankful. One of the mothers uses a belt, and she thought the kids were sassing her for saying it was not raining all day. So, I believe there's a chance, just like there's a chance that the forecasts and the Farmer's Almanac predict or cast a spell to create our future. I think the same could be said for some holy books. I don't know. I just think it is important that we each return to knowing that what is spoon-fed, even out of my mouth, question what I'm saying, but out of everyone's mouth, and listen to your gut. What are you feeling? Not what you're, repeating from what is on the current internet search, but what are your sincere experiences without looking it up, to have someone else validate it, without asking a family member. This goes with the Mandela Effect, just what are your own experiences? And anyhow, I just wanted to talk about how, Susso, you were brave to do that, talk about it. Noble Nesti, I appreciate you. For you being a Christian, you actually do act Christian, which is another word for good. There are non-Christians who are good people, good and loving people. I've been dropped by so many Christians because they cannot save me. And sorry, that is a trigger for me because I've experienced a lot of abandonment, finger pointing, labeling. If I'm not a Christian, then I'm this and this and this. I'm just me. I'm not a witch. I'm not a pagan. I'm not Native American. I'm not Buddhist. If you want to label me, I guess a spiritualist, because I do believe everything is consciousness, and everything is expressing itself, and we're a forever continuing blossoming flower. The problem is, I think our forever blossoming flower may be wilting, and enough of us have received messages, including myself, vision of what is a trajectory for us. And that's why I take this Mandela Effect seriously, because I think we do control there's someone who said it, whoever controls the future controls the past. And I didn't understand it at the time, but now knowing that we can change the past of what we're doing right now, of what we're believing right now, weather-wise or prophecy-wise, we're not passengers in this. We are drivers. We're, I guess the New Agers say co-creators, but we are, whether it's with Source and me or each of us, you can't just sit back and go, I'm waiting for the event. I'm waiting for a better world. While being spoon-fed information, your power, intentionally or unintentionally, has been removed from your awareness. I believe intentionally. And the best metaphor that I can think of is that we're on a stage. Turns out we've been on multiple stages this whole time, not even knowing. And then we realize, oh wow, we are an actor that is embodied in this human costume. And we now are starting to look and notice other people's costumes are changing because we've been plopped on different stages. Even if you don't notice the body changes, we've noticed the different props, the lighting. I mean, the prop master has a different light bulb for the sun. There used to only be one light bulb. Now there's more than one light bulb. The moon is a different color and location and angle. The props, the stage, the scenery are all changing. The thing is, some of us are realizing that we are the actor who have been on these stages. And we wanted to be actors because we've been up there in the rafters going, this is boring, we're just hanging around here. And then, hey, let's play. Hey, let's play in a play on stage. But then some people who were playing on stage, it's like, let's change these props. And let's say this book here has been here all along. Let's have you believe this book, the Farmer's Almanac, or whatever book you want to say. But the Farmer's Almanac. And then before you know it, people are forgetting that they're in the play. Some of us remember we're actors, and it's, cover your ears if you're politically charged. That's a play too. I don't vote anymore because I'm an audience member. I'm not, even though I'm still here on the stage as an audience member, if the play involves people taking a poll or a vote or receiving information on the piece of paper called a script, I'm not going to believe it anymore. It's all pretend. It's all a play. And I love you. Think. Don't just hand what's being, don't just read the lines. Oh, okay. You know Will Ferrell in Anchorman, and Steve Carell and Christina Applegate. Okay. There was a scene there where, you know how the anchormen, they just read what is being written on the teleprompters. And they read it without thinking for themselves. And so a joke was played on them, and the lines were mixed out, and they're mixed up, and funny things ended up being scripted for them to say. And that's what's been happening to us. All those movies that you watch, if you're watching horror, you're going to have more horror in your life, especially with nightmares and stuff. It's just, I'm rambling because my heart, the response yesterday to the, well, you know, the weather's being manipulated, yes. And we, individually, and hopefully as a collective we can get there, we, with our hearts and minds, if we put our intentions to all the way feeling that we're not going to believe what's up there. I mean, I'm thinking that the chemtrails and stuff, if they're for cloaking friendly alien ships, that's what it's going to be, you know. If you think it's poison and you're going to get sick, I mean, just think of the placebo pill. You're going to, it's happening. It's just the translation of what it means may not be what's really occurring. It could just be enough people believing that it's bad. So then that lowers our vibes so that we can all live in toxic worlds, because then it really will be toxic. And it is. We've entered many, many toxic worlds. Am I making sense to anybody? Forecasting is a spell. Do you want to continue drinking or sipping from that spoon that's being spoon-fed to you? I'm trying to figure this out too. It's just, how am I able to be in different weather? I think there's something to this. We have the power. We have the power. I love you all. Sorry it rang late. My mama bear is on extra alert. I love you.